A concerning trend is continuing in the La Crosse area.
New at 6, the number of drug seizures throughout the community has been increasing for the past several years.
News 8 Now's Tyler Jobe has more on which drugs are causing this dangerous trend.
Good evening, Mike and Martha. It's a trend that's happening not only throughout the county, but especially in the city as well. Methamphetamine is the #1 drug found in most seizures in our area, but there are several other drugs that are making matters worse. It's a major problem in the La Crosse area that seems to never go away.
We've seen an increase in the seizures of those types of drugs.
In fact, the trend has been growing for nearly a decade in La Crosse. In 2010, there were just 66 seizures involving meth, heroin, and cocaine. But in just 5 years, that number jumped to 286. Last year, 341 seizures took place. West Central Meg Unit Investigative Coordinator Tom Johnson says most of the drugs come from Mexico.
It's being pushed hard by cartels. They seem to be driving the market and flooding the areas in the region, like the Twin Cities region is usually where our meth comes from and down to this area.
As for why meth is so common,
it probably releases those type of feel-good drugs or dopamine more than any other drug that's out there. The years of potential life that an individual could lose is just significantly up from the use of these drugs.
The Meg Unit is expanding their efforts to try to stop the amount of drugs coming in.
Trying to make bigger investigations that go out further and try to assess who the sources are and try to nip that in the bud before it actually gets to the Coulee region itself.
But the trend continues to be a concern.
It's a scary fact that we have to think about these on a day-to-day basis.
Now, the total number of meth, heroin, and cocaine seizures last year was actually a slight drop compared to 2018 when seizures spiked at 386, but there have been at least 300 or more seizures of these drugs in 4 of the last 6 years. Martha?
Thanks so much, Tyler. Also, 19 people in La Crosse County died from drug overdoses just last year, 8 of which involved meth.